In the last lecture, we discussed about binomial distribution, the properties of binomial distribution. So now you know what are the parameters for binomial distribution. So if any in any question you have to apply that distribution, you must know the two parameters, either n or p or n or q. So number of trials and the probability of getting success in single trial. So if you know these two parameters, then you can apply that formula, means you can find out the probability and other applications of binomial distribution. So this is your first question. Comment on the following statement. So for a binomial distribution, mean is 6, variance is 9. So what you can say about this distribution? So because the mean and variance, these two values are given. So what is mean of a binomial distribution? It is NP. So NP value is 6 and the variance of the binomial distribution is 9. So you know what is the variance of binomial distribution? So NPQ. So NP is 6, means mean is 6, NPQ means variance is 9. So if you solve these two equations to get the values of parameters NPQ, you will get that Q is 1.5. If you divide this equation by this equation, then NP divided by NPQ is equal to 6 by 9, sorry, NPQ divided by NP, and then it is equal to 9 divided by 6. So it is 1.5. So the value of Q is 1.5, which cannot be possible because the P and Q are the probabilities, and probability, the value of probability cannot be greater than 1. So this is a which is impossible case. So that was the statement that the mean means for a binomial distribution, the mean and variance cannot be 6 and 9. So I assume that you know the reason, because the probability value is exceeding its limit. So next question, a die is tossed thrice, a success is getting 1 or 6 on a toss. So a die is tossed thrice, and what is the success? So the experiment is throwing a dice, and now the probability of getting success. So here in this question, the getting success means either you are getting 1 or getting 6. So there are 6 possibilities, means the possible outcomes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So out of those numbers, if you are getting 1 or 6, it is your success, means you are succeeding in the experiment. So what is the probability of getting success? That means probability of getting 1 or 6. So this is a probability question. So probability of getting success 1 or 6. So there are two cases, two favorable cases. So 1, that means what is the probability of 1? 1 by 6. And what is the probability of 6? So it is 1 by 6. So it is 2 by 6. So either or condition is given. That means probability of getting success in this experiment, that means getting 1 or 6, is 2 by 6, that is 1 by 3. So 1 by 3 is the probability of getting success in this experiment. So P value is 1 by 3, and what is Q? You know the relation between P and Q. P plus Q is 1. So whenever P is given, you can find out the Q and vice versa. So if Q, what is Q? Q is 1 minus P. So 1 minus P means probability of getting not success. So probability of not getting success, that means the sum of probability of getting success plus probability of not getting success would be 1. So similarly, you can calculate the Q. So Q is 1 minus 1 by 3, that is P. So 1 minus P is 1 minus 1 by 3, it is 2 by 3. So in this particular experiment, probability of getting success is 1 by 3 and probability of not getting success is 2 by 3. So now the question, find the mean and variance of the number of successes. Clear? We have to find out mean and variance of the number of successes. So in this experiment, we have to find out what is mean and variance. So you know, in binomial distribution, what is mean? Mean is NP, and you know the parameters. Now P is 1 by 3 and N is the number of trials in that particular experiment. So how many trials are there? A die is tossed thrice. So 3 times we are throwing that dice. So 3 means it is our number of trials. So N is 3 and P is 1 by 3. So N into P is 1. That means mean is 1. Similarly, in the variance form, what is variance for binomial distribution? NPQ. So you know every parameter, what is N, what is P, what is Q. So N is 3, the number of trials, P is probability of getting success, and Q is probability of not getting success. So the multiplication is 2 by 3. So this is your answer. Next, so whenever you want to apply that probability distribution, you must know two parameters, either N or P or N or Q. So number of trials and probability of getting success or not getting success. So out of these two, you must know at least one. So if 10% of the bolts produced by a machine are defective, that means what is the probability of a bolt to be defective? It is 10%. So out of 100, 10 are defective. So probability of defective bolt is 10 by 100 because it is given 10%. So 10% of the bolts are defective. That means if we want to calculate the probability that for any particular bolt, means a random bolt, what is the probability that it is defective? So because the probability is 10%, so 10 by 100 is 1 by 10. So 1 by 10 is the probability of a random bolt to be defective. Now determine the probability that out of 10 bolts chosen at random, 1, none, and at least 2 bolts will be defective. So we have to find out the probability of defective, means 1 bolt defective, none out of 10 bolts are defective, and at most 2 bolts are defective. So we already know that probability of a random bolt to be defective is 1 by 10. So the Q means the probability of a bolt to be non-defective is 1 minus P. So 1 minus P is 1 by 10. So 1 minus 1 by 10 is 9 by 10. So these are P and Q. Now number of trials. So how many trials are there? Determine the probability that out of 10 bolts. So we have 10 choices. So 10 choices means 10 trials. So N is 10. So we have total 10 bolts. Out of that, we have to select 1 bolt, none bolt, and at most 2 bolts as defective. So N is our number of trials, which is 10, the number of bolts chosen, and now the probability of that out of these 10 bolts, 1 is defective. So exactly 1 is defective. So what is the probability? So now you know the parameter, what is N, what is P, what is Q. So simply you have the formula of binomial distribution because this is discrete case. So out of 10 trials, we can succeed either 0 times, 1 time, 2 times, or up to maximum 10 times. So this is a discrete variable. So discrete variable, we can select any probability distribution. So till now we have studied only binomial distribution. So we will apply the binomial distribution. Now probability, what is the formula for binomial distribution? So probability of getting R successes, R number of successes is NCR, P to the power R, Q to the power N minus R. So now what is R? The first part is when 1 bolt is defective. So R is 1. So exact out of 10 bolts, if exactly 1 is defective, that is our success. So P1, that means 10CR, N is 10. So 10C1, P to the power 1, and Q to the power N minus R, that means 10 minus 1. So after calculation, you will get it is 0.38. So so probability is 38%. So now on the second part is none. So out of 10 bolts, 0 is defective. So exactly 0 means all bolts are clear, means none of them is defective. So when we will get success in this experiment, when R is 0 means 0 bolt is defective. So R is 0. So substituting R as 0 in the formula, NC0, P to the power 0, Q to the power N minus 0. So this is 0.3486. Now at most 2 volts. So at most 2 volts means what are the favorable conditions? Means either we will means if we get 0 defective bolt, it is a favorable case, and similarly if we get 1 out of 10 as defective bolt, it is also a favorable condition to our choice. And second, the P2 atom, because we have the case at most 2 bolts. So at most 2 means when we have 2 defective bolts, then also it is also favorable condition. But if we go forward from this condition, means at now P3 is what, when we have exactly 3 bolts defective out of 10 bolts. So because we have to consider only this case at most 2 bolts, so 0 is our favorable condition, 1 is our favorable condition, and 2 is our favorable condition. So the probability of that at most 2 bolts will be defective is equal to probability when R is less than or equal to 2. So because we already calculated P0 and P1, so only thing which is left is P2. So 10C2 P to the power 2 Q to the power n minus 2. So it is 0.1937 now, because our third case is at most 2. So P0 plus P1 plus P2. So you have to add all these probabilities. So this is 0.9297. So very easy questions are there. Now a binomial variable x satisfies the relation a 9p4 is equal to p2 when n is 6. Find the value of parameters p and probability of getting one success. So one relation, instead of the parameter, we have been given one relation between probability. So P, we know the formula for binomial distribution. PR is NCR, P to the power R, Q to the power N minus R. So now here we have relation between P4 and P2. So what is P4? P4 is, because N is given to us. So N is 6. So N is 6. So NC4 P4 Q to the power n minus 4. So n is 6, so it is coming 6C4 P4 Q2 square. And so after multiplication, means after solving this combination 6C4, it is factorial 6 by factorial 4 into factorial 2. So this will be 15. So 15 P4 Q square. And in the same way, P2, so what is P2? NC2 P to the power 2 Q to the power n minus 2. So n is 6. So after solving this, we will get 15 P square Q to the power 4. Now the relation which is given to us is 9 times P4 is equal to P2. So 9 times P4 is equal to P2. Now substitute the values. So 9 into P4 is 15 P to the power 4 Q square, and P2 is 15 P square Q to the power 4. So when you solve this, here we have two parameters, two variables P and Q. But we have to, because we have only one equation, so we cannot solve this. So but we know the relation between P and Q. So either you replace P by Q or Q by P. So in this way we will get one equation in one variable. So we can solve that equation easily. So because P plus Q is 1, so I have substituted that this equation. After simplifying, it is coming 15 is cancelled by that cancelled out by 15, it is 9. Now it is P4 Q square and it is P square Q4. So here we will get P square and here we will get Q square. So this equation, the reduced, the modified or reduced equation is P9P square is equal to Q square. Now the P plus Q is 1. So I have replaced this Q by 1 minus P. So 1 minus P square. So in this way you will get one quadratic equation in P. So you can solve this to get the values of P. So there are two possibilities. P is 1 by 4 and for the second P is minus 1 by 2, which is not possible as it is a probability. So it cannot be negative. So P cannot be negative. So the other option, the option will be discarded. So only one choice is left, which is P 1 by 4. So now P is 1 by 4 and N is 6, which is already given. So we have the parameters of binomial distribution. So in this way, we can now calculate any probability. So N is 6, P is 1 by 4. So what is Q? Q is 1 minus P. So 1 minus 1 by 4, that is 3 by 4, like this. So now the second part, what is the probability of getting one success? So P1 is 6c1 means nc1 p to the power 1 q to the power n minus 1. So n is 6, 6c1, p is 1 by 4, r is 1, and 3 by 4 is q, that is n minus r, that means 6 minus 1, 5. So after solving this you will get 0.3559. Now this question we have already discussed in the previous lecture. Fit a binomial distribution to the following data. These are the possible x values and these are the corresponding frequencies. These are actual frequencies and we have to calculate it expected frequency using the binomial distribution. So for that we need two parameters. So first calculate the mean, because in this, because x and f are given, so we can calculate the mean observation. So summation fx by summation f, it is this 1.28. so mean is 1.28. And now here, from here we can see that n is the number of trials. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, we can get maximum 4 successes, so the trial must be 4. So n is 4, so 4p is equal to something. So in this way you will get p. Now what is q? Q is 1 minus p, so 1 minus p is this your q. Now capital N is total frequencies, so if you add all the frequency you will get 150. So capital N is 150, and this is your formula. Expected frequency is equal to n and the probability function. So ncx, p to the power x, q to the power n minus x, that is 150, 4cx, n is 4, p is 0.32 and q is 0.68. So after substituting all the value, all possible values of x, you will get f0, f1, f2, f3, f4. These are expected frequencies. Clear? So this question we have already discussed in the previous lecture. Moving to the next question. If the moment generating functions of a random variable x is this, then find P2, means probability of getting 2 successes. Clear? So this is your moment generating function. So if you remember, what is the moment generating function for binomial distribution? It is q plus p e to the power t n. So we have derived this formula in the previous lecture. What is moment generating function for binomial distribution? So it is q plus p e to the power t to the power n. So if we compare this with the given moment generating function, so the you can observe that this is the first parameter is q. So q is 1 by 3, and the coefficient of e to the power t is p, so it is 2 by 3. So p is 2 by 3 and the power is n, so n is here 5. Clear? So n is 5. So now you have all the parameters, you can calculate any probability. So p2, what is p2? P2 is nc2 q to the power 2, sorry, p to the power 2 and q to the power n minus 2. So n is 5, so 5 minus 2 is 3. So in this way you can calculate the probability. This is a probability question. There is no relation between the binomial distribution here, so we will discuss this question later. Now during war, one ship out of N9 was sunk on an average in making a certain voyage. What was the probability that exactly 3 out of a convoy of 6 ships would arrive safely? So I explain you this question during war. One ship out of 9. So we have 9 ships, and so means this is the case, means this is a condition that out of on an average, out of n ships, one ship was destroyed. Clear? So we have to calculate the probability. So means in this way we can calculate the probability, that what is the probability of a ship arriving safely or destroyed. Means the condition is given for the destroy case, means one ship out of 9 was sunk on an average in making a certain voyage. That means 1 out of 9 ships is destroyed. So destroyed, and we have to calculate the probability of ships which arrive safely. Clear? So safely is different, means completely opposite from the destroy. So we can have the probability because 1 by 9 is the probability of ship means for destroy case, but we have to calculate the probability that a ship that would arrive safely. So arrive safely is the inverse of that. So it is 1 minus 1 by 9. Clear? Because 1 out of 9 ships, they are means it is the condition that 1 out of 9 ships is destroyed. So 1 by 9 is the probability of destroy case. So the probability of a ship arriving safely is 1 minus the destroy case. So 1 minus 1 by 9. So it is 8 by 9. And what is the q? Q is 1 minus p. So it is 1 by 9. And n, now what was the probability that exactly 3 out of a convoy of 6 ships would arrive safely? So out of 6 ships means we have 6 trials. So n value is 6. Now, what is the probability that exactly 3 out of 6? So we have to calculate P3. So probability of exactly 3 ships arrive safely is P3. So NC3, N is 6. So 63, P to the power 3. So this is your P, 8 by 9 to the power 3. And Q is Q to the power is N minus 3, because N is also 6. So 6 minus 3 is also 3. So this is q to the power 3, p to the power 3. So after solving, you will get this number. So this is your answer. And in next question, if on an average one ship in every 10 is wrecked, find the probability that out of 5 ships expected to arrive, 4 at least will arrive safely. So here we have the same case. Here out of means out of 10 ships, 1 ship is wrecked. So 1 by 10 is the probability which is wrecked. But we have to calculate the probability of ships which arrive safely. So safely is just inverse of that. So what is the probability of a ship which arrives safely is 1 minus 1 by 10, which is 9 by 10. So 9 ships out of 10 are safe is the probability. So 9 by 10 is your probability. Now, what is the condition? What is the question? Find the probability that out of 5 ships, so 5 is your n number of trials expected to arrive, 4 at least will arrive safely. So at least 4 out of 5. So at least 4 means the favorable conditions are 4 or 5. If 4 out means 4 out of 5 arrive safely, that is our case, and 5 arrive out of 5 means 5 ships out of 5 arrive safely, that is also our favorable case. So there are 2 cases which will favor our case. So 4 or 5, because we have to find out the probability that 4 at least 4 ships out of 5 will arrive safely. So P4 plus P5, this is our probability. So P4 is NC4, P to the power 4, Q to the power n minus 4. Similarly, P5 is P5, 5C5, NC5, P to the power 5, Q to the power n minus 5. So after solving, you will get the required probability. Now, a student is given a true-false examination with 8 questions. If he corrects at least 7 questions, he passes the examination. Clear? Find the probability that he will pass the given examination and he attempted all the questions. So means what are the cases, means what are the conditions, means the examination is of that type where we have true false questions, means the answer of the questions is either true or false, and there are 8 questions. So, and whenever one student corrects at least 7 questions, he passes the exam. So passing criteria is out of 8 questions you have to correct at least 7 questions, means 7 or 8, means any student who corrects 7 question or 8 question, he will pass the examination. So this is your condition. So now what is the probability that he will pass the examination? That means he will correct 7 questions or 8 questions. So these are 2 favorable conditions. Now the number of questions is 8. So n is 8. Now since because we have two options only for every question, means either a question is true or false. So a question is correct, the probability would be 1 by 2. There are 50% chances, means if you, without reading the question, if you answer the question, so what is the probability that it will be correct? So it will be corrected only, means the probability is 50%, because there are two options only, either question is true or false. So the probability of one question is true is 1 by 2. Similarly, so if p is 1 by 2, so what is q? Q is 1 minus p, so it is also 1 by 2. Now probability that one student will pass the examination is the probability that he get 7 successes out of 8 trials. So at least 7. So p7, if he corrects 7 questions, then he will pass the exam, and if he corrects all questions, then also he will pass the exam. So p7 plus p8. So p7 is 9c7, p to the power 7, q to the power n minus 7. p8 is nc8, p to the power 8, q to the power 9, n minus 8. So in this way you can calculate the probability. Now assume that on the average one telephone number out of 15 called between 2 to 3 on weekdays is busy. Clear? What is the condition? That on an average one telephone number, so one telephone number out of 15 called between, if you call between 2 to 3 p.m. So what is the probability that it will be busy? It is, the chances are, means it is 1 by 15. So 1 by 15 is the probability that if you call a number, any number between 2 to 3, it would be busy. The probability is 1 by 15. Now what is the probability that if 6 randomly selected telephone numbers are called, means what is the probability that if 6 randomly selected telephone numbers are called, means the trials is 6, so n is 6, we are you are calling 9 different random telephone numbers. Clear? So n is 6. Now what is the we have to find the probability that not more than 3 numbers are busy, at least 3 of them will be busy. So we have already calculated the probability, that probability of a telephone number being busy between 2 to 3 on weekdays is 1 by 3. It is already given that one telephone number out of 15 is busy between 2 to 3. So what is q? Q is 1 minus p, so 1 minus 1 by 15 is 14 by 15. And total trials means now we have 6 random telephone numbers, so n is 6. Out of these 6 we have to calculate that not more than 3 numbers are busy. So not more than 3 numbers are busy, that means we can have 0 busy number, we can have 1 busy number, we can have 2 busy number, and we can have 3 busy numbers, all 3 busy numbers. So because 6 calls are there, 6 numbers are there, so what is the case? Not more than 3, that means maximum 3. So P0, P1, P2, P3. So this is the probability that not more than 3 will be busy. So R is less than or equal to 3. So you can now, because you have N, P, Q. So P0 is NC0, P to the power 0, Q to the power N minus 0. Similarly, P1, P2, P3. So this will, you will get the probability 0.99. Now the probability that at least 3, now the reverse case, the probability that at least 3 of them will be busy. So at least 3 means out of 6 numbers, 3 may be busy, 4 may be busy, 5 may be busy, 6 may be busy. All are favorable cases. So P, the probability when R is greater than or equal to 3. In the last question, it was not more than 3, so maximum 3. And now at least 3 means minimum is 3. So it is P3 plus P4, P5, P6. All are our favorable cases. Means if we call 6 random numbers, then if 3 are busy, it is okay. 4 are busy, it is okay. 5 are busy, it is okay. And all 6 are busy, it is also okay, because the case is at least 3 of them will be busy. So calculate all the probabilities P3, P4, P5, P6, and after adding you will get your answer. Now the next question, if the probability of hitting a target is 10%, clear? Probability of hitting a target is 10%. That means probability of hitting a target is 10%. That means 10 by 100. So 1 by 10. So probability of not hitting that target is 1 minus P. So 1 minus 1 by 10, 9 by 10. Now, if 10 shots are fired independently, what is the probability that target will be hit at least once? So 10 shots are there. So what is the number of trials is 10. So n is 10. Now out of these 10 shots, what is the probability that target will be hit at least once? So there are 10 trials. Out of that, we have to calculate at least one time the target is hit. Okay. So the probability that target will be hit at least one is PR is greater than or equal to 1. So at least 1 means greater than or equal to 1, means P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, P6, P7 up to P10. All are the favorable cases. So because now what you have to do, you have to calculate all the probabilities P1, P2, P3 up to P10. So it will be a little bit typical, because we have 1 by 10, 9 by 10 on calculating all the powers. But one relation, that means one condition, then probability, the sum of all possible probabilities is 1. So what are the possible probabilities? P0, 2 plus P1 up to P10, because 10 trials are there. So P0 plus P1 up to P10, the total is 1, and you have to calculate you have to add the probabilities from 1 to 10. So from 1 to 10, that means you can use this equation. So P0 means the total of P1 up to P10 is equal to 1 minus P0. So similarly 1 minus P0. So either you calculate this, means P1, P2, P3, P4 up to P10 and add all these probabilities, or if using this equation, if you calculate only P0 and subtract from 1, you will get PR greater than or equal to 1. So 1 minus P0 is equal to this. This is your answer. So this is a simple way, means in this way you can reduce your calculation. Otherwise you will get the answer from that equation also, P1, P2, P3 up to P10, but how many 9 times you have to calculate the probabilities. And if you use this equation, the total of all possible probabilities is 1. So in this way you have to calculate only one probability, so which will save your time. Now the next question, the probability that a man aged 60 will live to 70 is 0.65. So what is the condition? The probability that a man aged 60 will live to 70 is 0.65. So probability is 0.65. And what is Q? Q is n 1 minus P, that is 1 minus 0.65, 0.35. Clear? Now, what is the probability that out of 10 men, now 60, means all are 60 aged, 6 persons are there, and at least 7 will live to 70. So the total number of trials is 10, n is 10. You know the probability that a man aged 60 will live to 70. What is the probability? 0.65. So we have to calculate at least 7 of 10 people will live to the 70. So at least 7 means 7, 8, 9, 10. All are favorable cases. At least 7. So P7, P8, P9, P10. You have to add all these probability. So in this case also, because here we have to calculate 4 probabilities, 7, 8, 9, 10. if you use that equation, this total of all possibilities is 1, then in that case you have to calculate more probabilities, because you have to calculate p0, p1, p2, p3, p4, p5, p6, the 7 probabilities, and you have to subtract from 1, then you will get this probability. But here we have to calculate only 4 possibilities, so this will reduce your time. So directly you can calculate the probabilities. Now a policeman fires 6 bullets on a dacoit. The probability that the dacoit will be killed by a bullet is 0.6. What is the probability that dacoit is still alive? So the policeman fires 6 bullets on a dacoit. So number of trials means number of bullets fired is 6. So number of trials is 6. Now the probability that dacoit will be killed by a bullet is 0.6. So probability that the dacoit will be killed is 0.6. So what is the probability of that he will not be killed? It will not be killed. It is 1 minus p. So 0.4. So what is the probability that dacoit is still alive? Out means if 6 bullets are fired on a dacoit, what is the probability that dacoit is still alive? Means he's safe. It is not. It has not been killed. So probability that dacoit is still alive, that means not killed. It is p0. Means out of 6 fired, none of the fire has killed the bullet, dacoit. So this is the p0 case. Clear? What is the case? That the probability that the dacoit will be killed by a bullet, by a single bullet, is 0.6, and the policeman fired 6 bullets on that dacoit. So out of 6, if at least one of them is hit, hit the dacoit, it will be killed. So we have to calculate, but we have to calculate the probability that dacoit is still alive, means he is saved. So none of the bullet must hit the dacoit. So it is a p0 case. So nc0, p to the power 0, q to the power n minus 0. So n is 6. So you can calculate the probability. Now again, a product is 0.5% defective and is packed in cartons of 100. What percentage of it contains not more than 3 defectives? A product is 0.5% defective. So what is the probability of a product to be defective? It is 0.5%. That means 0.5 divided by 100. That means 0.005. So the probability that it is the product is non-defective is 1 minus p. So 0.995. Now what is the case? The products they are packed in a cartons of 100, means there are hundreds products of that, but 100 items of that product. So number of packed products in a cartoon is 100. So n is 100. Now what is the probability? What percentage of it contains not more than 3 defectives? So out of 100, not more than 3 means at most 3. So R is less than or equal to 3 here. So P0, P1, P2, P3, all are favorable cases, because we have to find out that it contains not more than 3 defective product items. So not more than 3 means maximum you can have 3 defective products out of 100. So P0, P1, P2, P3. So now you know n is 100, P is 0.005, Q is 0.995. You calculate P0, P1, P2, P3, P5. You will get the probability that not more than 3 defective items are there in a pack of 100. So but you have to calculate the percentage. So simply you multiply 100 here. So 99.82 is the probability. Now if in a lot of solenoids 25 are defective out of 500, in a lot of solenoids 25 are defective out of 500. So what is the probability of defective solenoids? 25 by 500. So it is 0.05. So probability of non-defective solenoids, it is q, 1 minus p, so 0.95. Now find the probability of 0 and 3 defective solenoids in a random sample of 20 solenoids. So 20 is your number of trials, that means 9, n is 20. Now probability of 0 defective solenoids is P0. So NC0, P to the power 0, Q to the power n minus 0, it is your probability. So you know n is 20, P is 0.05, Q is 0.95. Simply you have to use the formula. Now the second part, 3 defective solenoids. So now P3. So P3 is your answer. Now very important question. Here we have to calculate the frequencies. Because out of 800 families with 4 children each, means we have 800 families, and in each family we have 4 children. Clear? We have 800 families, and in each family there are 4 children. Then how many families would be expected to have 2 boys and 2 girls? So we will see the questions one by one. Means first is 2 boys 2 girls, second is at least 1 boy, third is no girl. So now what are the cases, what are the conditions given to us? We have 800 families, and in each family we have 4 children. So since the probability of a boy or a girl, means probability of a children to be boy, or probability of a child to be a boy or girl is equal, and it is 1 by 2. So the probability of having a boy is 1 by 2, and probability of having a girl is 1 by 2. Now what is a small n? That is number of trials. Mean each, because 800 is the count of families, and the sub part is in each family, means in one family we have 3 children. So small n is 4, means in particular family, in single family, how many boys are there, how many girls are there. So n is 4 because we have 4 children in each family. So n is 4, and capital N is 800 because we have 800 such families. In each families we have 4 children, and we have 800 such families. So we have to count how many families are there out of 800 who have 2 boys and 2 girls now. So first is expected number of families having 2 boys and 2 girls. So now what is the probability that one family is having 2 boys and 2 girls? So out of 4 children, you must we must have 2 boys and 2 girls. So we can have the criteria with respect to one condition only. Suppose 2 boys, because out of 4 we need 2 boys and 2 girls. That means if out of 4 exactly 2 boys are there, so rest 2 would be girls. So what is the probability that out of 4 children 2 are boys? So it is 4c2 p to the power 2 q to the power n minus 2. So nc2, n is 4, p is 1 by 2 to the power 2, and q is 1 by 2 and to the power n minus 2. So n is also 4, 4 minus 2 is 2. So this is the probability that out of 4 children 2 are boys. And so this will give you probability, and if you multiply the 800 here, so you will get the exact number of families out of 800 families who have 2 boys and 2 girls. Clear? Now the second part, at least 1 boy. So the expected number of families having at least 1 boy. So at least 1 boy means out of 4 children you need at least 1 boy. So at least 1 boy means P1, P2, P3 and P4. If 1 boy is there, it is okay. If 2 boys are okay, 2 boys are there, it is also okay. 3 boys are there out of 4, it is also okay. And if all children are boys out of 4, then this is also our favorable case. So P1, P2, P3 and P4. If you add all these probability, you will get the probability that a family means a family has at least 1 boy. So if you multiply that number to the total number of families, you will get the number of families who will get who is having at least 1 boy. So it is 750 out of 800. Now expected number of families having no girl. Having no girl means all are boys. So having all 4 boys out of 4 children. So we have single case 4C4, that means NC4, and P to the power 4, Q to the power n minus 4. So it is that number, and if you multiply that number, that probability to number of families, you will get the number of families having no girl, that means all 4 boys. Now the next case, the expected number of families having at most 2 girls. So at most 2 girls, that means at least 2 boys. Both are equal cases. Means in a family where we have 4 children, at most 2 girls means 0 girl, 1 girl or 2 girl. These are favorable conditions. So if we map that into the number of boys, then if we have at least 2 boys, 3 boys and 4 boys, these are the cases at most where we have at most 2 girls. So at most 2 girls is mapped having at least 2 boys in a family. Clear? So at least 2 boys, that means P0, sorry, at least 2 boys means P2, P3, P4, 2 boys, 3 boys, 4 boys. So if we have 2 boys, that means 2 girls. If we have 3 boys, that means 1 girl. If we have 4 boys, 0 girl. So at most 2 girls, that means 0 girl, 1 girl and 2 girl. So in this way we can calculate the probability. So you add all the probabilities, multiply 800 number of families, you will get the number of families having at most 2 girls. Similarly, we have the other question, out of 800 family with 4 children each. So now the number of trials is 5. Clear? Otherwise the question is same. So now n is 5, otherwise everything is same, because here also we have count the number of girls or boys, that means the probability is 1 by 2. Clear? Now the 6 dice are thrown 729 times. How many times do you expect at least 3 dice to show a 5 or 6? So here also we have the case, what is the probability in a single trial? Means the chances of getting, because we have to count that the dice to show 5 or 6. So chances of getting 5 or 6 with one die is 2 by 6, because there are 2 favorable cases out of total 6 possible cases. So 2 by 6 is your probability that you get 5 or 6. That means this is your probability of getting success. So what is Q? Q is 1 minus P. So it is 2 by 3. Now, 6 dice are thrown 729 times. So 6, now the one experiment consists 6 dice throwing dice. So n is 6 and capital N is, this experiment is repeated 729 times. In each experiment, you are throwing 6 dice and this experiment is repeated 729 times. So we have to count that how many times out of 729 times we have at least 3 dice to show 5 or 6. So first we will calculate the probability in a single experiment. That means 6 dice, when 6 dice are thrown. So the expected number of times at least 3 dice. So at least 3 dice, that means at least means 3, 4, 5, 6, because we are throwing 6 dice. So maximum we can have 6 numbers. So at least 3 dice, that means 3 dice, 4 dice, 5 dice, 6 dice, they show 5 or 6 number on it. So 7, if we multiply the 729 to this probability, you will get the exact number. So this is P3, n is 6, because we have 6 dice in one experiment, so 6 trials. 3 is the number of successes, means 3 times out of 6 dice. On the 3 dice we are getting 5 or 6. Similarly 6C4, 6C5, 6C6. So this is the cases when we have at least 3 dice showing 5 or 6. So total 233 times it is expected number of times we will get at least 3 dice showing 5 or 6. Now in a sampling a large amount of parts manufactured via machine, the mean number of defectives in a sample of 20 is 2. So what is given to us, the mean number of defectives in a sample of 22 is 2. So n is 2, sorry, n is 20, because we have a sample of 20 items. So n is 20. Now what is given? Given is mean number of defectives. That means NP. NP is your mean for binomial distribution. So mean number of defective items is 2. So NP is 2 and n is given 20. So in this way we can have the p value. So 2 by 20 is 1 by 10, that is 0.1. So what is q? 1 minus 0.01, that is 0.9. And now out of 1000 such samples, so we have capital N as 1000. Small n is 20 because in a sample we have 20 items and we have 1000 such samples. So how many would be expected to contain at least 3 defective parts? Clear? So at least 3, that means in a sample we have 20 items, so at least 3, that means 3 defective, 4 defective, 5 defective, up to 20 defective. We have to calculate that many probabilities. So at least 3 can be converted into at most 3. Clear? If we subtract at most 3 defective case from the 1, we will get at least 3. So same I have done here. It is 1 minus at least 3 because we have 20 items in the sample. So at least 3 means 3, 4, 5 up to 20. So we have to calculate many probabilities. So instead what we can do, because all possible cases are from 0 to 0, 1, 2, 3 up to 20. So if we subtract the cases P0, P1, P2, these 3 cases from 1, then we will get our required case. So having at least 3 defectives in a sample of 20 is equal to probability of R greater than or equal to 3, and probability of R greater than or equal to 3 is equal to 1 minus probability of R less than 3. Okay? So we have to calculate P0, P1, P2. So P0 you need n is 20, P is 0.1, Q is 0.9. So you know what is P0, what is P1, what is P2. So substitute the values here, subtract from 1, you will get the required probability. So expected number is equal to the total number of samples into the probability. So 1000 into the probability 0.32. So 323 samples are there who are having at least 3 defective parts out of 20 samples. So so same questions are here. You can try all these questions. If you find any difficulty, we can discuss personally or in the WhatsApp group created. So you try all these questions. In the coming lecture, we will discuss about the next distribution, which is Poisson distribution. It is also a discrete distribution.